Petco Park, a new beginning, let's go. Started back rocking the brown. Ever since we've been knocking them down. Baby said she wanna go to the game. Taught her how to say Padres gang. Started back rocking the brown. Ever since we've been knocking them down. Mitchell and Ness with the old school name. All of the homies holler Padre gang. Yeah, that.
Good day, everybody. Welcome to the Talking Friars pregame show for September 29th, 2022. Sorry for the glitch there for some reason. It didn't say I was live, and now I guess I am live. Padres-Dodgers tonight, 6:40 is the first pitch. I was expecting to say it was going to be Sean Manaea or Yu Darvish on the mound tonight, but instead it is Steven Wilson starting the game. Sean Manaea, I would think, will come in from the bullpen after Steven Wilson. Don't know if it's right after Steven Wilson or they're going to have more home pitch and have Manaea go like the middle innings of the game and have a reliever finish off the ninth or the eighth or whatever. I have no idea, but I would expect Manaea to pitch today. Wouldn't really make sense to have a full-on bullpen day, especially when you look at the bullpen. The bullpen chart out is it's out at Talking Friars on Twitter. You have Hader, who's pitched on back-to-back days. You have Garcia, who's pitched on back-to-back days. Martinez has pitched on back-to-back days. So those are your three big relievers. So a full bullpen day, I don't really think that makes a whole lot of sense. But Morhone, I think definitely is getting in today. He hasn't pitched in a while. It's been at least 5 days since he's been in a game. So he should be able to go multiple innings. Steven Wilson pitched 19 pitches last night. So I would think he's in there to just get out the top of that Dodgers lineup. Betts, Turner, Freeman. Mookie Betts, 2 at-bats, but he's hitting 1,000 off of Wilson, but that's righty matchup. Freddie Freeman, that's only 1 at-bat off him. He has a hit. And Trey Turner, he is 0 for 3 off of Steven Wilson. So, and then you have a righty in Will Smith, lefty, righty. I think Chris Taylor's a righty, yeah. Maybe he's there for the first 2 innings, or maybe it's just a first inning thing, and then they have Sean Manaea come in. I don't believe Bob Melvin has elaborated on what the plan is, like who's going to come in after Steven Wilson, like exactly after him. But I'm not going to complain and be like, why is Yu Darvish not starting today? If you missed it, I put out a quick video this morning, asking you guys who should start tonight. Should it be Manaea or Darvish? This was obviously before we heard the news that Steven Wilson was going to start, and Manaea and Darvish weren't even the 2 options. But I said Manaea. I was fine with having Yu Darvish be pushed back to tomorrow, which is what is happening. Bob Melvin did just tell that to the media, and that would allow Yu Darvish to pitch on regular rest for the final day of the regular season if they do need it, because the Padres have obviously still not clinched a postseason spot. The magic number is 4. I still think they're going to get in. I still think Yu Darvish's last regular season start of the season is going to come tomorrow night. I like what they did there. They're not skipping Manaea. They've already won a game in this series. Of course, I want the Padres to win this series against the Dodgers, but they don't have to win tonight. Having Yu Darvish pitch tomorrow gives them a better chance to win the game Darvish pitches, I think, than if Darvish pitched today. Like, if Darvish pitched today, there's still no guarantee that he wins tomorrow or wins today. I'm not saying it's a guarantee that he wins tomorrow either, but it's a stronger chance that the Padres can beat the Chicago White Sox tomorrow with Yu Darvish on the mound when the White Sox are already out of a playoff spot. You know, they're not playing for anything. While the Dodgers, they have a much better lineup, top to bottom, obviously. You could make an argument that they have the best lineup in definitely the National League, maybe Major League Baseball, depth-wise. So I'm fine with that decision. Look, they didn't It's not like they had a bullpen day and they're multi-inning guys. I know Martinez is probably not available, but it's not like they planned a bullpen day and it was only the bullpen. Like, I see that being floated around on Twitter like, "Oh, it's a bullpen day." Gabe here says, "Bullpen game, nice." It's not, at least I don't think. I haven't gotten any indication that it's a full bullpen day. I just think that they're having Steven Wilson pitch the first inning, maybe based on matchups or their confidence in Steven Wilson getting out those top 3 guys in the lineup, and then they bring Shamanai in. I think that's what would happen. Let me check Twitter real quick just to make sure Bomo hasn't said anything about, like, when Manaea might come into the game or if he's pitching. I would assume he's pitching today. So Darvish, if you're just tuning in, he is pitching tomorrow. Clevenger going Saturday. Darvish pitching tomorrow. Lines him up for game 162. And then Saturday should be Snell, Musgrove Sunday. And then that would line up Manaea for Tuesday, Darvish for Wednesday. So I think that's how they would play it out for the rest of the regular season. Again, I'm fine with that, giving Clevenger another day. Because you still won that game on, when is that? Saturday. Right? Snell going Sunday. Musgrove Monday. Manaea Tuesday, Darvish Wednesday. So it's not, I mean, it is for Darvish. I would think that's the primary reason for this, getting him scheduled for the last day of the regular season in case they need it. Or he'll get regular rest for the wild card start, which would be next Friday. But it also gives Cleve another day. And as I said on the video posted earlier this morning, Manaea has a better ERA on regular rest than Darvish does on regular rest. 4 days rest and then pitching. 5 days rest, Darvish's ERA is much better than on regular rest. So I thought that was interesting. And for anyone that wants to say, "Oh, Darvish should have pitched today," you want to win that series against the Dodgers, give the Padres that confidence boost. Yeah, sure, that would provide like a confidence boost if they won, sure. But Bob Melvin and the coaching staff, they don't know what's going to happen tonight, obviously. Like, it's easy for us, especially after like last night's game where you bring in Grisham and he strikes out looking. Well, okay, if he brought in Grisham there and he knew he was going to strike out looking before he made the move, Grisham wouldn't have been in there, right? Grisham would have volunteered to not be in there if he knew he was going to strike out looking, right? But he went with the only lefty I believe he had left on the bench. That's a manager's job. Like, when things go well, you probably don't get a ton of credit. When things don't go well, the blame goes on you, right? That's what Bomo signed up for, though. So that's how we start off this pregame show. Darvish tomorrow, Steven Wilson starting today. I would think Manaea goes to after Steven Wilson, and then they can go Morahone for a couple innings, Johnson for a couple innings. They could pitch Suarez for a couple innings or an inning and a third, whatever they want to do there. And worst case scenario, you have Stammen, who hasn't pitched since the 25th. So that's how they're rolling today. Usually I do what's happened with the relievers recently and all, or the starting pitchers recently, but the real starters, I feel like in this game, are Heaney and Manaea. Dodgers are also going with a bullpen day, and Brusdar Graterol is starting for them. He has a 2.89 ERA this year, and he's starting maybe to get him some work, but I know he has some pretty darn good numbers against Manny, so they're trying to get through the top 3 in the Padres order. Profar doesn't have a hit off of him yet. Soto does not have a hit off of him, but no at-bats. And Manny's actually hitting 429 off of Graterol. All right. Maybe it's just the gas, 101 out of the gate. Maybe that's what the Dodgers liked. Or they're just getting him work, multiple innings. I don't know. But I think Heaney would come in after him. Heaney, he hasn't gone long. This is probably why they're going Gratterall first time, and then maybe Heaney faces the top of the Padres order once or twice. Because last time out against the Cardinals, September 23rd, went 3 2/3 innings, 4 earned runs, walked two. Um, Inning before that, he only went 4 innings. He didn't give up any runs, but 4 innings. He hasn't gone more than 5 1/3 this month. So you're not going to get a ton of length out of him. And that 5 1/3 outing was September 5th. So that was a few weeks ago. So it looks like the Padres are kind of doing the same thing as the Dodgers here. Have a reliever go and then have that starter go maybe one time, couple times through the order. Just want to avoid that third time. Or maybe, couple times through the order. Or a couple times at least maybe through the bottom of the other team's order. And you don't have to face the top of the order. And Shamanaya, I'd expect him to come in after Steven Wilson, like I talked about. His last outing, 3 2/3 innings against Colorado, gave up 3 earned runs, walked 3. Didn't really strike anyone out, 2 strikeouts, gave up a home run. The walks are kind of what killed him there, right? The pitch count. 69 pitches, that's not a lot. But he gave up 3 earned runs there. And the Padres ended up losing that one 4-3. If Manaea would have stayed in that game longer, it probably would not have been a close game like that. Was that an extra inning game? Let me double check that. Yeah, it was in 10 innings. Yeah, that was the game. The bullpen did not give up an earned run after Manaea exited. So Bomel pulled the plug there pretty much at the right time. I think Daza got a big hit off of him, and everyone, the Twitter managers, obviously, from their couch were like, "Oh, you can't have Manaea be facing Daza there. It's easy to second guess then." He was trying to get Manaea to go through 4, and so the bullpen didn't have to pitch another outing, or excuse me, another out, but he couldn't do it. Manaea, in terms of my expectations, excuse me, not really high. I'd be fine. Let's say he does come in after Wilson today. I'd be fine with like 4 innings, maybe 3, because if you're going to have some guys pitch multiple innings, so let's say Wilson goes the 1, Morhone goes 3, that gets you through 4. Morhone comes in, gives you a couple, that gets you through 6. Suarez comes in, gives you a couple. You can go Johnson. Maybe you go one of the big 3, Garcia, Hader, Martinez. After that, but maybe Manaea, goes 4 innings. It is going to be interesting. Tim Hill will be available too. It is going to be interesting to see how they navigate that. With Hader, Garcia, Martinez having good workloads the last 3 days, all 3 of them. Excuse me, the last 2 days, all 3 of them. All right, let's get to the lineups for today. Dodgers lineup is out. Mookie's leading off. Turner's at shortstop. Freddie Freeman's at first. That's probably why Steven Wilson's in there. 2 of those 3 are righties, so you're going with that. Smith is DHing, hitting 4th. Muncy's at 3rd. Taylor's at second base. Trace Thompson is in left. Austin Barnes is catching. Cody Bellinger is in center. And then the Padres, Profar's leading off in left field. Back in the leadoff spot, you got Soto in right, Manny at 3rd, Crony at second base, batting 4th. Again, they're expecting the lefty Andrew Heaney to come in, so Crony's hitting. I think Heaney's a lefty, right? Crony's hitting 4th. I'm double checking that. Yeah. Heaney's a lefty. Brandon Drury's at first. Kim is at short. Brandon Dixon, this is a surprise. I was not expecting Dixon to be making his big league debut as the DH in the starting lineup. I don't want to say it has like Matt Beatty vibes, because Matt Beatty, I wasn't expecting anything from him. And I don't have, like, high expectations for Brandon Dixon. I don't really know anything about him. He just got called up from El Paso, but I think he probably has more potential than what Beatty did. I think, Dixon had, like, 20 home runs or something I was reading off the other day on the pregame show when he was first called up. So maybe there's something there. Campy's hitting 8th, catching after not catching Musgrove yesterday. That's interesting. Azokar is in center field. He is batting 9th after Grisham came in last night. And I mean, he could come in again, but he missed the bunt and then he struck out looking. That was painful to watch there in that 10th inning. But on to a new day. Magic number still stayed at where it was at, which is 4. Milwaukee plays Miami at 4:40, so that's going to get it underway, like 45 minutes or so. Philly already lost today to the Cubs 2-0, so they are tied with Milwaukee now for that final wild card spot. The Padres have a 3-game lead on both of those teams. So that's good news. And that's another thing with people wanting Darvish to start today. It's like I said earlier, the Padres don't have to win today. They've got the Brewers and the Phillies struggling right now. You know, they don't want to make the postseason, it seems like. It's not like it's a one-game thing here or like the Padres with the 3-game lead, even if Milwaukee wins today and the Padres lose, magic number is 4 still. So if the Padres, they'd have how many games left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They have 6 games left after tonight, even with a loss. Let's say Milwaukee wins. Magic number is 4. If Milwaukee loses 2 games and the Padres go 2-4 in those last 6, like the Padres are still in. I don't think Milwaukee's going to go win the rest of their games, you know? Same with the Phillies. Like the Phillies, we think our offense is bad right now. Their offense, I was watching the game earlier today. They had a lot of 3 up, 3 downs. Their offense, it's not pretty right now. You're not scoring any runs against the Cubs. Schwarber and Hoskins combined to go 0 for 5 for them today. Real Muto, Bohm, and Marsh went 0 for 12 for them today. 0 for 5 they went today with runners in scoring position, left 9 guys on base. So, you know, we can complain, I guess, about our offense. I'm just happy that we're 3 games up. You know, we could be in that position if the offense didn't turn it around after, like, that players-only meeting and stuff against Arizona, in Arizona a couple weekends ago. But we're in this spot. We're in the good spot. Like, we have the advantage. Time is I guess it's our friend right now. It's Milwaukee's enemy. Like, every night that they don't capitalize and gain ground somewhere in the standings, that's a loss easily, obviously, for them. They both Philly and Milwaukee, like they're not concerned about us right now. They're concerned about making the postseason. My Padre pick, by the way, who should I go with? I went with Manny last night, and he got a hit, multiple hits. Wasn't a surprise for me. Facing Julio Urias, pretty much owns that dude. So I am 97-52, I believe, so far this season in my pregame show Padre pick. Matchup-wise, they don't show the matchups against Haney because he's not starting. They show only against Gratterall. But with that said, just looking at the lineup again here, I'm going to go with Brandon Drury because I figure a lefty's coming in after Gratterall. I'm going to go with Drury, hitting 5th, middle of the lineup. I like that selection. I could see like a double down the line, something like that tonight from Brandon. We'll see how that goes. So that's my Padre pick. Let's end it with some comments here, shall we? If you want to support the channel, you can use that super chat button, super thanks button for regular videos. I appreciate the support. Let's see. Some of these comments, some of these questions I've already answered as I've been talking. So hopefully you've gotten your answer or your question answered. At the top here, like, how do you think today's game is going to go? I think Wilson, Mania, and Johnson, Morhone. Maybe not in that order, but Johnson, Morhone. You can use Suarez. Definitely, I see that going like that. And just try to keep the offense in the game. To be honest, that's going to be the pitcher's job, the pitching staff's job today. Yep. Here's another one I answered. Isn't Darvish significantly better with 5 days rest compared to 4? Yeah. Yes. I don't know if he went to Valhalla, Brandon Dixon, but he is from San Diego. Let me double check that. It says he's from La Jolla. I don't know if he has a Wikipedia page. Probably not. Oh, it does. La Jolla, California. It does not say where he went to. Oh, okay, yeah. No, not Valhalla. It says Murrieta Valley High School. Went to the University of Arizona. Won the College World Series as a freshman. Was drafted by the Dodgers 3rd round, then went to the Reds, then went to the Tigers. He was claimed off waivers by the Tigers 2018. 2018 only played like 74 games. That was for Cincinnati. 2019 with Detroit, 117 games, 290 on base percentage. 2020 with Detroit, 14 plate appearances. I'm not going to read into that at all. It says that he went to the Nippon Professional Baseball League after being released by Detroit. Played 38 games there. Then became a free agent, and March 26th, Padres signed him to a minor league contract. So that's kind of the path for Brandon Dixon. He's DHing tonight and batting 7th. So um, it's not his major league debut. I might have said that before. Sorry. That's on me. Padres debut. Gil says, bring up Jackson Merrill. Well, that's too early, obviously. He was playing with Lake Elsinore a couple weeks ago. That's right. Sorry. That's not the comment I meant. Campy. Yeah, it is his birthday. What is he, 23? I think the Padres said that. I was kind of surprised by that because, he's like the catcher of the future. I was thinking more like 21. 24. Campy is 24, and he's going to get to start on his birthday playing for the Padres against the Dodgers. That's pretty cool. Jeremiah says no Stammen today. I mean, he'll be available, but he's a last resort. Like, he'd be pitching in a blowout game. Right, Gabe. I agree with that. Robert Wilson says Padres are not going to make the playoffs. Well, if they don't, then that's absolutely embarrassing. That would be a huge, huge collapse if they don't make the postseason. They have a 3-game lead on 2 teams that don't want to make the playoffs right now. That's what it feels like. Their magic number is 4 with less than a week to go. They don't even have to be perfect. They could go, how many games do we have left here? 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 games left. If they go under 500, let's say they go 3-4 in their last 7 games here. If Milwaukee loses 1 more game, the Padres make the postseason. Magic number is 4. 3 Padres wins, a Milwaukee loss, and they're in. Like, they don't have to be perfect. So if they don't make it, that means they collapsed and Milwaukee, didn't lose again, pretty much. Carlos asks, "What happened to Ryan Weathers?" I have no idea. He's had a high ERA, I think, in El Paso all year, and maybe he comes into the fold again next year, but I don't know. They brought up Reese Kinnear multiple times in front of him. Ryan Weathers came up like once, I think, to face the Cubs this year, and that was, I think, it. Um, he just didn't find it in AAA with El Paso this year. And with the pitching that they had, obviously, they have their rotation set. It's been pretty healthy all year long. Darvish, Manaea, uh, Clev. I know he started off hurt, but he's came back. Obviously, Martinez, beginning of the year, they had options. Musgrove, obviously, Snell, uh, Gore before he got traded. Like, they had plenty of options before Ryan Weathers. Reese Kinnear was one of those. So I don't know if even if Weathers pitched well, maybe he would have been up at some point or more frequently up than he was. But that's I haven't even thought about him in months, to be honest. I think we win the Giants series. I think we win the White Sox series. But obviously, those are Major League Baseball's teams. It's baseball, right? So I guess I'd be surprised if the Padres lose the Giants series, they lose the White Sox series because you're trying to make the postseason, clinch a postseason spot, clinch that 5 seed to go play the loser of the National League East. You got to win these games. Like, losing these series to the Giants and the White Sox, like, that's just inviting trouble. Yep, JT Snod. Yep, Phillies already lost today, 2-0. Jeffrey says the Sox just got knocked out of the playoffs. Not sure how much they are going to be caring. I kind of agree there. They are also Major League Baseball players still. Um, going into the year, I thought they had a talented roster. Tim Anderson's been on the shelf a little bit. Tony La Russa doesn't seem like fans really love him managing that ball club. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets let go at the end of the year. He stopped managing the team. They have an interim manager right now, or they've had him, feels like, for like the last month because I think La Russa was dealing with some health issue. So obviously you hope that everything's going fine there. Doctors, I believe, recommended him not to return to the dugout this year. Just a team that didn't perform up to expectations. I don't know if they were favored to win the Central. Maybe it was the Twins. I don't think people had the Guardians winning the AL Central this year, and they did it. They're in the postseason. I think they're the youngest team in baseball. I saw something about that this week, and they've clinched the Central already. So it's baseball. It's hard to predict sometimes with some teams. Like Dodgers winning the division, that's predictable, obviously. But other things, it's you just don't know. It's a toss up. Who from the NL East do you rather see? Would I rather see? Um, man, probably. I mean, I don't know yet because we got to see how this last less than a week plays out. Because what if the Mets have to use Scherzer, or excuse me, like DeGrom on the last day of the season or something? They have to do that. Now we get Scherzer game 1 against Darvish probably. I'll sign up for that. I think they beat Scherzer in New York earlier this year, coming out of the All-Star break. And then they have what? Chris Bassett, and we get Snell on the mound. Like, I'll take that. Or the Braves, they don't have Spencer Strider maybe for the wild card series. So maybe I'd go that way. Like, I think health matters. I think obviously who pitches for teams heading down the stretch. They play each other this weekend. So I don't know. I'd probably lean towards the Mets, to be honest. I just think that we have a better bullpen. I think we can have a better lineup if, things are clicking. And I'll take Darvish against DeGrom, to be honest. I know that might sound dumb, but I'll take that. And I'll take Snell against Scherzer, bring it on. With the Braves, for some reason, I just feel like they're not the better matchup for the Padres. I can't really explain it. I don't know. But I'm gonna have to wait. I'll have a better answer when um the rest of the season plays out. Starting pitching wise, who pitches, who do the Mets use, who do the Braves use down the stretch? How do the teams look, against one another? So we'll see. All right. This has been the Talking Friars pregame show, September 29th, 2022. Padres Dodgers, Gratterall against Steven Wilson, and then it's probably going to turn into Shamanaya against Andrew Heaney. I'll have the clips at Talking Friars on Twitter, and I'm on Instagram as well. Same thing. Enjoy the game, everyone. Go Padres. See you later.